Hi folks. The president of South Korea, President Park, refuses to meet with her counterpart across the Sea of Japan, the Japanese Prime Minister Abe. Yeah, she doesn't want to meet with her. Yeah, she's saying that first the Japanese have to admit the evil history they have with Korea. And then you need to compensate the so-called comfort women. Yeah, that's what she's saying. You better stay out of the Yasukuni Shrine also. So because of those reasons, she refuses to meet with her ally, another democratic country in Asia. But you know who she did meet with? The communist leader of Red China. Yeah, she met him. She went there to Beijing, wherever that place is, to meet with him and greet him. Yeah. Now the Korean peninsula today is divided. The communists in the north, who are lunatics, and the democratic government people in the south. It's divided today because of China, because of the communists sending their army into the Korean War. You see, the Allies and the South Koreans were going to win that war. They were on the verge of winning it until the communist Chinese sent their military south. So that's who she visited. The communists in China who are responsible for a divided peninsula. But she will not meet with a fellow democratic country across the Sea of Japan because you need to atone for what you did. To which I have to say, really? Or as we say in Japan, Majikayo! What she's really doing here, she's scapegoating. She's deflecting from the sins of her father. Does she feel responsible for the sins of her father, that she does not want it to be resurrected among the populace in South Korea? So to keep it suppressed, she has to keep pointing the fingers across the Sea of Japan to stir up the hate towards the Japanese? Her father was a distinguished officer in the army. Yeah, but not in the Korean army, the Japanese Imperial army. He's South Korean. And during the war, he served in the Japanese Imperial Army with such distinction that he was raised in ranks to an officer, with such distinction that he was placed in a Japanese Imperial unit that was an elite unit in Manchuria because he served so well and with such distinction. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything negative about him. Let's just say he was an honorable Korean and he's serving in the Japanese army. Anyway, so while he was serving in the Japanese Imperial Army, do you not think perhaps he visited a comfort woman station? Now, would this honorable man have gone to that comfort woman station if there were 4 sex slaves, 200,000 of his fellow citizens? First of all, he would not have joined the Japanese Imperial Army. What honorable man would do that, join the army that's forced 200,000 of his fellow citizens into sexual slavery? And when he went into the army, do you think he would have went into a concubine with sex slaves from his country? No. But you want to know, there's another reason why she's trying to cover the sins of her father. In 1965, when the nation of South Korea and Japan engaged in a treaty, he was the president. And in this treaty, the Japanese government paid millions, hundreds of millions, to the South Korean government as to close all these claims and to pass the money on to the victims. He didn't pass the money on to the victims because he knew they weren't victims, they were well-paid prostitutes. The South Korean government kept that money and used it for infrastructure projects. Another reason President Park is deflecting attention away from her family's history, and directing the criticism and scorn across the Sea of Japan to the Japanese people is because of a law that they passed or enacted somewhere, I think in 2005 or 2006, that reads that anyone of Korea, any Korean who collaborated or stood with the Japanese during the Second World War and before, they will confiscate all your assets. Yeah, that's it, kids. You stood with the Japanese, we're taking everything you own. Well, her father, he was an officer in the Japanese Imperial Army. So according to this law, they could take everything he owns. But there's just one aspect of this. He's dead. He was assassinated. And I wonder if his assassin is a national hero, as other national heroes in South Korea were assassins. I think 2 of them. So now you're saying, so what does she have to worry about? He's dead. What are they going to confiscate? Well, you see, the South Koreans took care of that. They took a cue from their brothers and sisters north, the communists in North Korea. They put into the law, and their descendants' assets will be confiscated. Yeah. So people not yet born, who are of the same blood as her father, they can have their assets taken away. She can have her assets taken away. In North Korea, if you commit a crime, you go to jail, your children go to jail, your grandchildren go to jail. Yeah, because they believe the bad seed lasts for 3 generations. Well, here, they didn't put a limit on 3 generations in South Korea. Your descendants all the way down to the end of the earth. Yeah. Now, what kind of lunacy is that? So you see, President Park has to hide the sins of her father. And she can only do that by resurrecting the hate across the Sea of Japan to the Japanese people. See? So now, is she stupid? Is she ignorant? Or is she a clever politician? Whatever she is, she's scapegoated. We'll see you. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless the nation you happen to be in. See ya.